My brother Jim and my sister Sylvia and I are asking for your help in connecting us with a person who was part of our lives from 1959 to 1960. We just knew her as Valerie. While living in Edmonton, Alberta in 1959, our parents, James Henry Wake and Elizabeth Ann Wake, brought Valerie home to live with us on a trial adoption basis. We moved north to Fort Chipewyan, Alberta, that summer. This is the day we arrived in Fort Chip. That's Jim on the left, Sylvia next to him, and me in the foreground. Valerie is in blue, holding on to Mum's hand. The following scenes come from home movies that our dad shot while we were there. You will hear Mom and Dad narrating them years later in 1986.
We boarded Indian Affairs boat, the Chipewyan, at Waterways, Alberta, which was on the Clearwater River adjacent to its confluence with the Athabasca River and Fort McMurray. In these scenes we were approaching and now passing the Indian village of Fort McKay in tar sands country, some 40 miles or so below Fort McMurray on the west bank of the Athabasca River. All our worldly goods were on the barge being pushed by the Chipewyan. Now we've reached Fort Chipewyan at the west end of Lake Athabasca. And this is our first view of it early that morning.
I always remember yours waking me up and saying, Fort Chipewyan, dead ahead.
Here's the Chipewyan tied up to the dock at Fort Chipewyan.
There's Valerie.
That looks like Sylvia and Carl coming last.
Where are you, Jim? Oh, here he is.
This family group beside the school at Fort Chip. This stone cairn was erected on Monument Hill at Fort Chipewyan above Lake Athabasca to commemorate the building of the first Fort Chipewyan at Old Fort Point near the mouth of the Athabasca River and the exploration by Sir Alexander Mackenzie of the large river, subsequently named after him. The family's out for a walk in the woods behind the village, waving branches to discourage the mosquitoes. Having a picnic on the rocks behind the village. This is the lakefront. Doing a bit of swimming. Wasn't the best of places to go swimming, but enjoyable nevertheless.
It was because people had thrown stuff in the water.
Yeah, we were always
tin
finding
cans
garbage, broken bottles, and all kinds of junk. This is Jim's birthday party in our living room. This was before we'd got all our possessions unpacked. Most of them were outside in cases, crates, covered up with tarpaulin. This is a barbecue at the RCMP barracks. The man in charge at that time was Corporal Roy Shaw, who I trained with in Rockcliffe in 1941. Valerie leading the group here. As you know, we were thinking of adopting Valerie and had taken her on probation, but it just didn't work out, so we had to take her back. Sylvia and others swimming, playing at Sandy Bay. Jim experimenting with lighting a fire, Boy Scout style, using only not more than 2 matches.
Jim, you did a good job too. I remember that.
Yeah. That was a much cleaner beach than in front of the village, so we went down there frequently. Carl's birthday party. Strange, it always comes at Halloween time. That's Johnny Stewart waving. Oh, this is 5 years. My gracious. Time is marching on.
Oh my goodness.
This is cutting Christmas trees in December 1959. Wanted one for our house, one for the Sunday school, and one for the church.
The Sunday school tree would be in the parish hall.
At the time we were there, they had a Mr. Wagner, a ministerial student, taking services until the fall when he had to go back to college, and then I was asked to be a lay reader until a replacement comes. I don't recognize that.
Might be the farm.
Oh, that comes up next.
Oh.
Here's the farm.
Ah.
Carl had an awful lot of fun with this. Not only the barn, but there were some animals and other props. Valerie, she got a dolly bed, dolls, lots of other things.
Many years have passed, and we still think about Valerie. Our parents have passed away, but Jim, Sylvia, and I thought we'd like to see if we could contact Valerie. We hold information about a year of her life that we want very much to share with her. We have some photos too. We contacted the Alberta Post-Adoption Registry in March 2019, but that went nowhere. Do you know a person named Valerie? We assume our Valerie was born in 1955 or 1956 in Edmonton and eventually was adopted. We're hoping we could one day meet her in person. Thank you so much for any help in making that happen.